my God, she's being so rude already. Did you see that look that she gave? Okay, we don't do that kind of stuff in patient rooms. I'm curious to see what she's trying to test for. This is so effing rude. I can't even. This show definitely makes doctors look bad. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jess the MD. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we are going to be reacting to another clip from an episode of Chicago Med. So let's see what we've got in store.
Hi, I'm Dr. Manning, and this is Mr. Clark, a medical student. He's going to be assisting me.
I'm Amelia. This is my son, Troy.
Hi, Troy. I hear you're not feeling well?
Troy is speech delayed. He only says a few words.
Okay.
I'm gonna check you out, okay, buddy?
When did this start happening?
A couple weeks ago, he woke up limping. When it kept getting worse, I took him in for x-rays, but they didn't show anything. The doctor wanted him to rest for a week, but it isn't getting any better. They've been okay at work, but I gotta get Troy well.
I understand.
So far, this doctor doesn't really seem to be judging harshly yet. I'm sure it's gonna get extra dramatic really quickly. When a child is brought into the ER, we pay attention to all sorts of little details, different body language of the parents of the child, just to make sure that the situation is safe between the child and the parents. So I'm sure that some of those things would be going through her mind. We're also constantly going through the differential diagnosis, meaning what could all the things possibly be that could be going on with this person, with this child. As we get more information, that differential diagnosis changes and leads us more towards the hopefully correct answer.
Morning, his gums started bleeding.
Hey, let me check your chompers, bud.
Okay, so we've got some clues here. This mother is saying that she's kind of struggling at work. This kiddo's gums are bleeding. He's limping, so he could have some bone pain. I'm thinking that there may be some nutrient deficiencies here. When the gums are bleeding, it could be things like a vitamin C deficiency. It could be something like gingivitis, which causes inflammation of the gums. That's usually something that happens when the teeth aren't brushed properly or well enough or long enough. So there's lots that can be going on. Let's see what the doctors on the show have to say.
He looks quite thin. Has his appetite been affected?
He's always been a picky eater.
I've got one like that, too.
So now she's clearly going down the nutrient deficiency rabbit hole, seeing what else might be going on. Is he a picky eater? That's what the mom is saying. Is it a problem that she has difficulty getting food on the table? That's another thing that we can work with social work to help this mother be able to feed her child appropriately.
All right, we'll get a copy of his x-rays. The leg pain and weakness could be coming from a lot of things. So we'll get a CAT scan of his spine and some blood work, and hopefully we'll get some answers.
Chalky. Not now, sweetie, okay? Chalky, no. He wants some chocolate milk.
I think we have some of that in the cafeteria. I'll have some sent in. Everything's coming back normal. Maybe we're dealing with some sort of weird vasculitis, Henoch-Schönlein purpura, or Kawasaki disease.
So she mentioned Henoch-Schönlein purpura, or HSP. I would expect her to have seen things like reddish purple dots on the legs or him having more abdominal pain. And then she also mentioned Kawasaki disease. You would see also different signs. The gums really don't bleed very often, but you'll see mucositis, meaning reddening of the lips, reddening of the tongue. You see something called strawberry tongue and other things that Kawasaki disease presents with that really isn't presenting in this child.
Or possibly infectious disease or rickettsia, like that fever.
Chalky now! It's okay, baby. We'll get you some chalky.
The chocolate milk never came?
The cafeteria was out and he won't drink the plain.
Well, you can't fault a kid for knowing what he likes.
Is there something else that he likes?
Graham crackers. When I get home at night, all he wants is chocolate milk and graham crackers. It's hard not to give in.
Did you see that look that she gave? Okay, we don't do that kind of stuff in patient rooms. That's really, really unprofessional. That's number one. Number two, so she's kind of gathering that this child is really picky, and it seems like this mom isn't or hasn't been able to change his preferences. At this point, I would be thinking with the speech delay and with this extreme pickiness with eating, asking about more spectrum disorder type symptoms to see if that's what's going on with this child, because then he needs different types of therapies, for example.
You said he's picky at night. Is he better during the day?
I'm pretty sure he eats other things.
Pretty sure?
He has a couple sitters, the neighbor's kid, the woman upstairs. It's possible they're not as firm as they ought to be. I can't afford daycare.
I understand. I'm gonna send a nurse in to draw blood for one more test.
I'm curious to see what she's trying to test for. There's this undertone of judgment in what she's saying, even when she says, I understand. It's just not appropriate. There's other ways to deal with this kind of stuff, and social work definitely should be involved if you're suspecting that a child is not having their basic needs met.
Did you find anything?
We did.
Based on Troy's limited diet, we checked his vitamin C levels. The results show a significant deficiency.
Well below normal. Troy has scurvy.
Haha, we mentioned scurvy, didn't we? That was one of the first things we mentioned. The bleeding gums, that would lead me to consider scurvy in a situation where someone is not getting the nutrition that they need, whether it's because they don't have access or if it's because they're extremely picky and not eating the things that they need to be eating.
It's what's causing his symptoms.
I don't understand. Scurvy, isn't that something sailors used to get?
It was historically. Anybody with prolonged dietary deficiencies is susceptible.
How is that possible?
We were surprised too. It's not something we see. It's been all but eradicated in developed countries because it's easily preventable with a balanced diet.
Oh my God, she's being so rude already. You don't just go into a situation like this, like ready to fight. This mother is bringing this child in because she needs help with him. This is not a situation where you can act all high and mighty and just be like, well, we haven't seen this in so long and it's because you're not feeding your child correctly. That's not okay. This is definitely a situation where social work needs to be involved.
You mean he's sick because of what he eats?
More like what he doesn't eat. It's a parent's job, Miss Boland, to make sure their children get nutritious foods.
Excuse
This
me?
never should have happened. You should have been monitoring Troy's diet.
That's easy for you to say. You know nothing about my life.
This show definitely makes doctors look bad. The characters as doctors often bring in their emotional baggage into this. That's just not how you provide medical care.
I work 2 jobs to support my son. I am gone from 6 a.m. to 8 at night. You have no right to judge. I would do anything to protect him.
Excuse me. Please explain the course of treatment.
This is so effing rude. I can't even. In this situation, this parent should be complaining to the supervisor because this is totally inappropriate of this doctor to be just so rude to her like this.
Hey. Hey. I went off on that boy's mom.
Oh?
It was really about me.
She's bringing in her own emotional baggage and taking it out on a patient's mother. This is beyond not okay.
I wasn't mad at her, I was mad at myself. Am I a horrible mother?
Yes, you are. Not you just having working mom's guilt.
Okay, I'll give it to her. Working mom guilt is a difficult thing to deal with. I think any one of us that goes to work for extended periods of time, no matter what kind of work we do, when you don't get to spend as much time with your kids and watch them grow and you have a nanny or a daycare raising your children, it is hard and it definitely causes mom guilt. And in this situation, this mom guilt of hers made her completely blow up on a patient in a way that she absolutely should not have, was completely unprofessional, and I really hope she apologizes for.
We're waiting for a bed, then we'll transfer Troy upstairs.
I'll get you feeling better soon, okay, buddy?
Takes a few weeks to get back to normal, but his prognosis is good. Should have a full recovery.
You waiting for a thank you?
One of our social workers is going to come in and talk to you about nutrition, help you with Troy's diet.
It definitely seems like this mom probably knows what this kiddo should be eating, but she's having trouble getting him to eat. So instead of chastising the mom about what she's feeding her kid, maybe we should look into social work to getting this child help. Maybe even getting psychiatry involved to help with maybe an autism spectrum diagnosis.
And I'm sorry. I know it isn't easy holding everything together. And to tell you the truth, every day I worry if I'm doing right by my kid.
Okay. Thanks.
So I know she was doing that to kind of connect with this patient and clearly say that she's sorry. Oh, but it was just so unprofessional. It's enraging.
All right, hang in there, champ.
So I've watched a few of these Chicago med clips, and I used to watch this show back in the day, and I found that these doctors often bring in their personal crap into their job, explode on patients, or do things that are completely unprofessional and inappropriate, and then it's okay because they apologized. And while it definitely happens to all of us, we're all human, right? We bring in our lives into our work life. Sometimes it is incredibly important for a physician to remain professional, even in a situation where they're upset with how a patient has either taken care of themselves or how maybe a parent has taken care of their child who's the patient. There's a lot wrong with the medical system, and I think that in the real world, this is usually not one of those things. In our education, professionalism is one of the very first things that we talk about, and it's one of those things that I think we all carry through our entire careers. This mom has every right to be upset. I'm glad that this doctor apologized. She absolutely needed to, but there needs to be more of a workup for this child because he probably is on the spectrum and needs other interventions. All right, what did you guys think of this clip from Chicago Med? I thought it was really interesting. I definitely had some strong opinions about how this doctor treated this mother. Professionalism is a really big thing in the medical world, and oh my goodness, this crossed so many lines. Now, it's your turn. Tell me down below in the comments what you thought of this clip. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking down below, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell to be updated of any future content that I post. I'm Jess the MD. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed spending time with you. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one.